You remember the Wagner brigade defector who went to Norway? Hold that thought for a minute, because Prigozhen, Putin's chef, has said that the person who is decapitated has nothing to do with Wagner. He said, it's bad when people's heads are cut off, but I've not found anywhere that this is happening near Bakhmut or that fighters of Wagner are participating in the execution. He says he's watched the video. Now, another person who watched the video is Medveydev, the person who fled to Norway. And he said, because he was the commander of the 1st squad of the 4th platoon of the 7th Wagner brigade, the assault squad. And he's now in a sort of detainment prison. And he saw the video as well. He listened to it several times. He watched it carefully. He identifies former colleagues, people he knows, members of the Wagner group. And he identifies them by their distinctive call signs, the way they talk, what they say on their radios as they go about this extrajudicial execution, this brutal murder. And he was in Wagner. He knows the call signs. He knows the ciphers. He knows the expressions. And he helps to identify the fighters of the group, and that really is his value now. So the fact that he can identify this particular incident is, I think it's important. I think it's important, and it's telling. And it's telling for two reasons. Number one, that he clearly identifies the group's involvement, and number two, that Prigozhin clearly says that they aren't involved. Which one do you believe? I mean, frankly, I believe the defector. I believe the fellow who ran away. More than that, I've heard some of the call myself. I've heard some of the video myself. I've watched bits of it. And it doesn't make good watching. And it's sort of repulsive. I don't recommend anybody watches it. Whatever President Zelensky says, we just need to know that it's happened. And when I compare that with other videos which I've seen, most of them I think are fake. But I did see a video the other day which equally sickened me. It was in 3 parts, and it involved the execution of a Ukrainian officer, I think, because he had all the pips and bits and pieces on his uniform, and not only was he executed, he was castrated beforehand. It's not something I want to watch again. And for somebody to turn around to me now and say there is no brutality in the Russian army, whether it's Prigozhin's lot or whether it's Putin's lot, it doesn't really make too much difference. There is a level of brutality which is demonic, which is deeply evil, which is deeply wrong, and which needs to be called out. And it is not paralleled by any form of brutality on the other side. Yes, war leads to inhumanity and bad actions, but this is extreme. This is extreme because it's not only that it's brutal and violent and premeditated. It's that it's being filmed, and that these people posted this film and were proud of what they did. And that is where I draw the line. It's the fact that it was filmed. Because there are, you can go back and you can pick up other stories about brutality. And there's a difference between the ISIS brutality and this. The ISIS brutality, equally horrific, but you got the impression they were doing something in a sort of routine way. This was sadistic, and they were enjoying it, and they were filming it. This takes it to an entirely new level of sadism, of brutality, of demonic activity. This is demonic, and anyone who associates with this is associating with evil. And I'm interested, actually, as we come up to Orthodox Easter, I'm interested in the silence of the Moscow Patriarch, silence of Kirill about this. Why doesn't he call this out as wrong, as evil? Because he's an ex-KGB man.